Hey, what's up guys, Rep here. So today we have another round of localizer related drama to cover. This week there's been a big spotlight on localizers and their history of mistranslations, and as more evidence of these mistranslations has been spread on places like Twitter, localizers and their supporters have been getting increasingly nervous. In fact, there's a lot of evidence floating around that shows that these localizers not only have no respect for anime and manga, they don't even have respect for their own fans, and that'll be highlighted in a clip that we'll watch later in this video, where a voice actor for the infamously bad Dragon Maid localization will be confronted with a question about fans who are upset about mistranslations. Their response to that will to be call anyone who finds mistranslations to be bad, they'll call them a virgin, and a Nazi, and a misogynist, and that they are not welcome in the anime community. Yes, it is some wild stuff we'll see in just a bit here, but let's remind ourselves how we got here. A quick recap of everything. So about a week ago, the Ancient Magus' Bride manga returned with an English release that used AI translations. This got a lot of localizers very upset because they're starting to face the possibility that they will lose their job to AI. And as I pointed out in my coverage of this, we're dealing with a situation where AI is not the ideal form of translation, but nobody is going to feel bad for these localizers who might lose their job as a result because they have abused their position as a translator for many, many years and mocked people who are trying to point it out over this course of time. And basically, they're getting what they deserve. And I've covered it in videos like this. There's been a lot of conversation about this over the past week. And in videos like this, I have pointed out this example of a bad localization. Now, there's dozens of these types of examples I could give, but I always use this screenshot when I'm talking about localization because it is the most blatant and egregious bad localization you can ever see. Everyone sees this pesky patriarchal societal demands quote here, and everyone knows this is incredibly forced and it's just a bad localization. It's easy to digest for people, so that's why I always use this example. And other people would come across this and talk a lot about that mistranslation in particular because Asmongold would react to my video. And probably not much of a surprise, he's on board. He thinks that what these localizers are doing is very wrong and that these people are legit clowns. But I was appreciative that he reacted to that particular video because I think it gives a little more of a side of the internet that maybe hasn't been exposed to this sort of stuff. Like, Asmongold and his community has definitely warmed up to VTubers and anime in general a lot over the past couple of years. But one thing is definitely for sure, his audience is not as familiar with anime and manga as an audience like mine, for example. And we've been talking about these bad localizations for a very long time. But people like Asmongold and a lot of his fans, they're not really aware of this stuff. So when he came across the Dragon Maid localization, for example, it was so outrageous to him, he literally didn't believe it was real until he found out that yes, it is very real, and his reaction is priceless. So basically, you have a translation of a scene from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid where Luca is basically saying, I wanted to wear something different so people wouldn't look at me.
Yeah.
And in the localization, it says, oh, those pesky patriarchal societal demands were getting on my nerves.
No, wait, that's great. Or what? Is this true? You can find the clip on YouTube.
Coming! Hey! What are you wearing that for?
Oh, those pesky patriarchal societal demands were getting on my nerves. So I changed clothes.
Give it a week, they'll be begging you to change back.
Huh?
You can come on in if you want.
And this is like real, right? Like this is it's like I refuse to fucking believe it. That's awful. Like what? How did that happen?
Now, in case you didn't notice earlier, that was Funimation's dub. That was their localization of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. And with that, you can easily find out the voice actors responsible for delivering those lines. And the person responsible for delivering that pesky patriarchal societal demand line is Jamie Marchi. And if you look at her bio, you can see she was responsible for doing the dub of Luqua in that series. And here's the thing. As she will hint at in tweets we're going to look at later in this video, not only did she approve of those lines, she makes it sound like she was the one responsible for making those changes and coming up with that dialogue. So now she's faced with a situation where people know that she's the one responsible for that dub, and a lot of people have been criticizing her on Twitter, and unfortunately for her, a clip has resurfaced that's not making her look the best. So thanks to this user for sharing this clip on Twitter. This is a Q&A of the My Hero Academia cast, which of course includes Jamie, because she voiced one of the characters from that dub. And basically, this clip is, as they say, beyond human comprehension. The things she's going to say in response to a simple question about mistranslations will blow your mind. So let's have a listen together.
It's a stroll of power, and I appreciate it.
Well, I'm kind of scared to ask this question now because I don't want to bring down the room. So this is more directed at Jamie, but all of you can answer.
Go,
All of
Jamie,
you
go. I'm
have,
excited
like,
about it.
I'm ready to bring
input
down
on
the
this.
room. Let's do
We
it.
need a spotlight.
So
on
Funimation
Jamie.
has come under, let's call it criticism for how they choose to adapt their scripts for
Like
a couple of
unnecessary
shows.
hate. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
So you can see immediately playing the victim and deflecting any sort of criticism. So they're being asked about Funimation facing criticism for what will be mistranslations, and she immediately characterizes this criticism as unnecessary hate.
And a lot of that I feel is directed at you unfairly.
Thank you.
So how would you like to respond to that kind of criticism?
To the
particularly?
criticism, like, I have a vagina. Deal with it.
How do you respond to people, your customers and fans, being upset about mistranslations? Her response is, I have a vagina. Deal with it. I feel like they're going to sell that on a cup or something, like cis male tears or something like that. But yeah, that's her response to, why are you guys providing mistranslations? This is literally a skit in South Park, by the way. Like, this is line for line, bar for bar, a skit from a previous South Park episode. But let's continue.
Like, it's honestly, that's the truth. I am a woman. I am a funny woman. We are all talented, funny, powerful women.
Just like anything else, you know, in life, when someone says, I'm a good person, when they have to keep telling you I'm a good person, that tends to be not the case, right? Like, they're overcompensating. If someone has to tell you they're funny like this, I don't know. It's showing some insecurity. But again, in case this wasn't abundantly clear, none of this has to do with the fact that Jamie is a woman. None of this has to do with any of these people's gender. It's about bad translations. People are not mad because you're a woman. They're mad because you delivered one of the most embarrassing localizations of all time. And people you support are actively providing mistranslations of other works in anime and manga. That's what people are upset about, not the fact that you're a woman. That is a deflection of blame.
We are out here. It's going to happen. Deal with it. I'm sorry you're not getting laid. It's not about you. Move on.
This is literally like a meme format. You're facing criticism, and you immediately dismiss your criticism because the people are virgins. Like, right now, I'm a married man. I don't like these localizations. I don't like these mistranslations. Now what? Are you gonna have like a blue screen in your brain or something? Like, did I crash the simulation? This is such a petty and ridiculous response to valid criticism.
That's my reaction.
All right.
There were a lot of
Just how
very
it is.
angry.
This poor guy, by the way, you can tell he went up with an actual loaded question and he got basically bullied into softening the question because he didn't want to be humiliated in front of a live audience by these voice actors.
Comments that winner.
But thank you. Anybody else have anything to add?
I think you nailed it.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to say that.
Amazing. Simply amazing.
You get a lot of hate online?
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
I'm sorry, I
but
didn't
also
hear the question.
like,
She just told me that happened.
oh yeah, we'll talk about it later. But here's my feeling: anytime I make if I'm making misogynists and Nazis angry, then I'm doing all right.
She's so predictable. So predictable. Ladies and gentlemen, is it supporting Nazis? Are you a Nazi for wanting proper translations in anime and manga? Does that make you a Nazi or a bigot? Oh my God. Imagine watering down those terms so much to the point where something like Nazi means wanting Luqua from Dragon Maid to not talk about pesky patriarchal societal demands. Like, come on.
Because we don't. I mean, honestly. honestly, we don't want them associated with our fandom. They are not representative of us, and they will stand out and try to own this fandom. And I'm like, you don't realize these are amazing people with lots of backgrounds and lots of different
And they're
cultures.
funny.
An amazing array of strength and power within them, and you do not represent the people I know.
They are literally gatekeeping you now. They want to gatekeep you out of the anime community because you want accurate translations. This is what they're doing. They're so insecure about their own mistakes that they literally want to push out people from a community they have no right to be a part of at this point. Because not only do they not respect the source material, they don't have any respect for anime and manga fans in general. And I think this clip is getting a lot of attention because of how absurd Jamie is. Like, this is an absolutely embarrassing response to a very simple question and set of criticism. So after seeing that clip, I went to go find her Twitter, and lo and behold, I'm blocked. Which is not surprising because I'm blocked by basically every localizer and anyone who supports their mistranslations. But nonetheless, over the past 24 hours or so, she has been on a rampage on Twitter, basically responding to anyone criticizing her for that Q&A or her bad localizations or anything that she's been involved with, where she's trying to paint a picture that everyone who criticizes her is soft or a snowflake or sensitive. You'll see some replies like this. This person brought up the Q&A and they said, "I don't see how replying to comments on my own post could be considered bullying, but I'm sorry you're so sensitive about it." And then this person says, "Imagine spending years of your life fuming over a single line from that Dragon Maid anime, then in the same breath being a part of the crowd that unironically calls other people snowflakes." And of course she agrees to that. Again, shifting the narrative, like, where is this happening at all? And it's not just one example. There's dozens of examples of bad localizations people are pointing out. People are just focusing on the Dragon Maid one because it's that egregious and it's that blatantly bad. But here's another exchange where basically people bring up the Q&A once again, where Jamie replies, "Why would I know anything about that? I don't pay attention to rage baiters. I just get the rage from the suckers who took the bait." Which I guess here she's trying to say that the localization of Dragon Maid was just a joke or to rage bait people, but then she's saying here that she doesn't pay attention to rage baiters. It's very confusing. And then down here she just dismisses anyone trying to criticize her as ragey, which isn't that what she said she's trying to do? She doesn't make a lot of sense, ladies and gentlemen. Clearly she's very bothered by all of this, and she's trying to act like she's superior to everyone and that this is all either a joke, but also serious, but also not serious. It's just a deflection, okay? She's caught with a bad localization of Dragon Maid, and there's nothing else to it. She looks silly for her job voicing that character. But again, trying to brush this off as a joke or something, she would decide to quote retweet this tweet from 2019, saying, "For those who maybe forgot." And it says, "Just remember, if there are any line changes in any anime, any script, anything ever that offend anyone who unironically used terms like SJW and feminist agenda, I wrote them." So basically, you're admitting to providing bad localizations, and you're also confirming that you intentionally did that to the Dragon Maid dub. I don't think this makes you look very good. This might get some high fives from localizers and other voice actors, but your fans and potential fans of works that you want to be a part of, they are not happy to see this. They're annoyed by this, and it's disrespectful to the source material, and it's disrespectful to the anime community and any fans involved with it. This is a terrible look. I don't understand why these localizers and voice actors and their supporters are doing this. They look childish. Who would want to work with people like this who have such an attitude towards their own medium and the people that consume it? But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Another round of localizer drama, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, please feel free to share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.